Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Carrie, and here on Caring with Carrie, we talk all things kids. On Tuesdays, I like to put videos up like this that do revolve around my pregnancy. I'm currently 15 weeks pregnant, and tomorrow, from when you see this video anyways, I will be 16 weeks pregnant. So today's video, I'm going to be going over essentially what my registry looks like. In my mindset, I try to keep everything in my registry under these 4 categories: practical, minimal, Montessori, and zero waste when I can. I have 180 items in my registry. Probably about 80% of it we actually do plan to buy ourselves if we're not gifted it, and the other 20% are things that I might get, or maybe they're just like options for people who are wanting to get us something. I'm going to be linking it down below just so you can get an idea of the full picture, because I'm not going to be talking about all 180 items. I'm just going to be highlighting some of my favorites from each category. If you kind of want to see more along the lines of Montessori, zero waste, practical, minimal, all of that, head on over to that link and you can kind of see what else I've got on there. So first and foremost, for the toys and the books, we're trying not to do anything that's plastic. We're trying not to do anything with batteries. So our plan right now is to only get toys from Lovevery. That's a company where you can get Montessori toys every 2 to 3 months based on your child's age. They are often made of cloth and wood, do not require batteries. This is not an ad for them, by the way. I'm not sponsored by them. I am just really excited about this company because it's truly the only way we plan to bring toys into the house. I know that as a mom, toys will be coming in from family members and friends in other ways, and that's okay. We will filter it through our family system, and then if we need to move it on to another family, we will, and if we think it will fit within our guidelines, then we will keep it. And that is actually the plan for our child's whole life, not just their first year. So we're going to be doing a box subscription with Lovevery, and then they also have a play gym that is can be like used as a tent. As they get older, they have like pieces you can add to it that make it into a little tent or fort. So this is a versatile piece that can be an investment. It's $140, but it's made of really good quality wood. It's made of cloth. Each piece in it is designed to work along with the boxes. So for example, the play gym works with a couple things that come in the very first box, such as the cards that are the black and white contrast cards for your baby to look at. So it's also very pleasing to the eye. It's something that folds up very easily, so it's something that I would like to have. It's not one of my needs, like must-haves, but it's something I'd like to have. And then for books, we just plan on using Literati, which is a book subscription. They will send, for like less than $100 a year, they will send you 5 books every month. Obviously, they're going to be screened through us, but I think that's just a really easy way to get books, because you can get 5 books for $100, much less 5 books a month for a whole year for $100. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then that way we're constantly getting new and fresh books into our home. Right now, I have like a bunch of books from being a teacher. I just don't have a lot of board books, so I'm hoping that program will supply us with some board books. As far as health and safety category, I kind of looked at different things. I know the nose Frida is really popular, but I've actually seen some bad reviews from that, and a lot of people have said just use a little squeezy bulb that you stick up their nose and suck out the boogers. It's just easier to handle because you can have one hand on your baby and do that, and it's just a lot easier to handle. So we're probably just going to go with that. I have that on the list. And then I have something called the D-Choker. If you follow them on Instagram, they put up testimonials and stories just all the time about how even when CPR and infant resuscitation is applied, that sometimes those methods are not fail-proof. And so the D-Choker has helped to save lives of children where CPR or resuscitation was not working, back blows, anything like that was not working. The Heimlich on older children was not working, and the de-choker worked. It's essentially something that suctions around the mouth and then creates a vacuum so you can pull out whatever is in their throat. Which sounds crazy, but I just think it's worth it to have, and then get used to carrying around even from the very beginning. The next thing that we actually already have is the Owlette. This is a must-have. From the beginning, I decided I did not want to lose sleep, and I know that's very possible. I may still lose sleep over trying to watch my baby breathe. I don't want to have to worry about that. Having the Owlette, something that is reliable, has saved many lives. I have seen the reviews, and I'm really excited to be able to have the technology to have something like this. They are going to be co-sleeping in our bed safely, and we'll get to that in a second, but they're going to be right there. So if that alarm goes off for the Owlette, I'm right there and I can react right away. The last thing that we're going to be doing once the child is 6 months or sitting on their own is an ISR, which is infant swim resuscitation, I think, class. Infant swim rescue, maybe? Okay, I think it might be infant swim rescue. Either way, it teaches a child that if they fall into the water, how to float, even as young as 6 months. And with my in-laws having a pool and us kind of being beach babes, I want to make it a priority that water safety is something we incorporate early on. For the nursery, I'm literally only doing 3 things as far as like decor for the nursery. Of course, I'm gonna have the baby's bed in there, and right now I have a bookshelf that I would like to kind of use as a Montessori bookshelf. Other than that, we're going to have a Montessori bookshelf that has like the slats in it, so that when the child starts crawling, they can access the books a little bit easier and be able to also like put them away. It'll be a neater way to put them away versus throwing them on a shelf. And then we're also going to be getting a Montessori shatterproof framed mirror. It's a little expensive. I think it's like $100, maybe 120, but it's a really long one with a it's got stands on the end, so you can put it up vertically or I want to say landscape, horizontally, and then that way it can go right next to the floor bed, which is the purpose of a mirror in the first, I would say, 7-8 months, maybe even up to a year. Having a mirror there is part of the Montessori setup. And the last thing, and the only thing I'm really doing as decor, is we are putting wallpaper on one corner of the room. Since we're trying to keep this room Montessori, we want it to be like as, you know, chill as possible. And not have a bunch of stuff on the walls. But this wallpaper is just going to be like, looks like a forest. It's literally just trees and like a really pretty cloudy sky, foggy sky, whatever you want to describe it as. So diapering, this is fun. So we are actually going to try to potty train from birth. It's called elimination communication. I could make a whole video on this, and I actually might do so, but that's all I'm going to say about it for now. We did already get the top hat potty for our little one, but we're also doing cloth diapers whenever we are not pottying the child. They're going to be in cloth diapers. I've done a lot of research on diapers before I ever got pregnant. In fact, I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of videos, researched a lot of companies, got a lot of different people's opinions, and I found that the best way to cloth diaper a baby is to get inserts or pre-folds, and then just use a wool cover. And wool is breathable, and it's I don't want to say lanolized, but maybe that's the right word, lanolized, so that if pee gets on it, it's antibacterial in nature, so you don't have to like wash it after every time, like if pee does get onto it. But that's why you have the insert in there anyways. So it's supposed, like, I think wool is supposed to be like technically waterproof or whatever. So that's, you know, my basic knowledge of it. All I know is that back when I did the research, it was like the best option as far as cover, and then just putting something in it. So that's what we plan to do. And then having a wet dry bag is on the registry, because that's going to be important for storing the top hat potty, but also for having like dry and wet diapers. We are also doing cloth wipes, so we're just doing cloth, I guess, rags. I mean, I don't know what else you would call them. You know, they're labeled cloth wipes, but we're going to make a solution. You can buy a solution for cloth wipes and then soak the wipes in the solution, and then there you go. And we have a little case that's silicone, zero waste, that we're going to be putting in the cloth wipes into. And it's supposed to be really good about keeping it like nice and wet and everything. So and then the other way that we can always use it is I can buy a little spray bottle and either just use water or that wipe solution, spray it, and then wipe. I mean, whatever. That'll also work anytime. I can just, like, you know, even if I gotta stick my baby's butt under a sink real quick and just wipe them off with the cloth wipe, I mean, hey, no problems there. I'm not saying I'm never gonna ever use actual like baby wipes, but why when I could use something that's reusable, you know? Alright, so feeding. I do plan on breastfeeding as long as I can. I plan on taking classes. I'm trying to be really proactive. I know breastfeeding is hard. I know it hurts. I know it's a lot, and you know, there's just a lot of emotion that goes into breastfeeding. Never done it, you know. I just have seen and heard and all that. So I'm gonna keep saying my goal is to breastfeed, but personally, once the child is old enough to start baby-led weaning, we're going to go full force with that and drop off feeds as I see is necessary. So I'd like to not be breastfeeding past a year. I really think a year, for me personally, that's just going to be the cutoff. So we have a couple of things in the registry that may not be like minimal per se, but they make sense for us. We are going to get a bottle warmer that's actually just shaped like a bowl because we're using mason jars as our bottles. We are making this decision because it's something that is very versatile. We have plenty of mason jars. They can be sanitized in the dishwasher. They don't have to have like special sanitization, whatever. They're going to last longer, and they're glass, so they are recyclable. Some plastic bottles are, and I know that there's silicone ones out there too. Mason bottles just make the most sense for us. Oh, I think the other thing was they're going to heat up better. I think when it's in glass it heats up faster or something like that. I'd like to have a mini fridge on my like bedstand so that middle of the night feeds, if I've got the hawk on one side and baby on the other, I can be reserving that breast milk in the fridge right there and not getting up and out of bed. In those first few weeks, I really want to try to stick to the bed as much as possible. So the next thing for feeding that I originally planned to get was an LV pump, which is like a portable rechargeable battery operated, pump that you just like stick in your bra and you can walk around with it, whatever. I found one called Pumptastic. The only con is that it's maybe like a little bit bigger and bulkier, but I plan to be with my baby all day long, and even when I go back to work, I'm allowed to bring the baby here to my work. So I'm not seeing a time where I would actually need to pump for sure. But just in case I'm engorged, or I feel like I just need a pump, or when I take my breastfeeding class, if I figure out like there's times I need to be pumping, I'm gonna have at least that one Pumptastic portable pump, and that will be like really easy hands-free pumping, and it's just as good as the LV in as far as how it works, how quiet it is, how strong the suction is, leakability, all of that, same as LV. And it's like, the LV is like $279. This Pumptastic thing I think is like $85 maybe. So you guys check it out, it's in my registry. The next thing that we went ahead and got was a high chair. We just got the IKEA $20 high chair, but we decked it out in Yeah Baby Goods, which if you have not checked them out on Instagram, I will link them below. Not sponsored, but I do love their company, and I love the family behind the company. They are an incredible family that fosters and adopts all of these amazing things. So I was so down for using their company to deck out the high chair and also to make sure that the high chair has a footrest. It's so super important to have a footrest when a child is sitting in a high chair. If you have a child that's sitting in a high chair without a footrest, there's going to be complications that you could be adding to yourself stress-wise. The baby's not going to be as focused on eating. They also have better swallowing when they have something to rest their feet on. Just think about if you're sitting on a bar stool with no footrest, your feet are swinging and it's distracting, and you just feel like you need to put your feet up somewhere. At least I do. So just keep that in mind when you put a baby in the high chair. Even if their little legs are sticking straight out, they need something to rest their feet on. The other thing that we got is we're not buying like a bunch of plastic plates or child-sized things. We're going to try to keep it as Montessori as possible, which means we plan on using real silverware, real glass as much as possible for the first few months of baby-led weaning. However, I do plan on using an easy peasy mat, which is just a silicone mat, again, biodegradable, and it can just stick to whatever surface, and then you can put whatever baby's food in there. Super easy to clean, and we're only buying one for now. Trying to stay minimal here. And then the next thing that we have on there is these little milk trays. It's essentially like an ice cube tray but for milk, and it freezes them in 1 ounce sticks, which I think will be really helpful because we are buying reusable breast milk bags that are silicone, and those would be really great. The silicone bags are like tall, just like a regular breast milk bag, and those sticks would just kind of fit in there perfectly. So being able to look in there and see, I know that on the silicone bags they have like markings for liquid, but I think it'll be easier to do it that way, and just kind of see how much we have in there. I already talked about I'm going to be getting the Haka. That's just as common sense, honestly. When baby is feeding on one side, letdown happens on the other. You're going to need something to catch all that. Liquid gold. I thought about trying to get those shells where it like catches any leakage, but unless I am leaking like a crazy amount all the time, and you don't really know that until you start your breastfeeding journey, unless I'm leaking crazy amounts, I am just going to use reusable pads to soak it up. That's the plan. If it gets bad, I might use a shell, but I struggled with I found really conflicting reviews on every shell out there. So if you know of a good shell that you can use to catch milk, comment below, because I'd be interested in that if I do end up having that problem. Okay, next thing, clothes. Yes, this is the first thing that everybody wants to buy when they, find out they're having a baby. There's always so many clothes. And a child is usually not going to wear all the clothes that you buy them. Here's the other thing that I know. Other people love buying baby clothes for your baby too. My current plan is from here on out to only buy 2 articles of clothing, as far as like actual pieces. One of them is a footie, and the other one is a gown that is a Christmas gown. We will be visiting family in a different state that we have not seen in a while for Christmas, so having that gown will be special. And I have 1 other gown already, and I have 3 onesies, and I think that's the extent of my baby clothes, and I'm actually okay with that. Again, minimal. I know this means that I'm gonna have to be doing more laundry, but if I'm going through cloth diapers like I think I might in the beginning, I'm going to be doing that laundry anyways. So if I have to get more clothes, I do plan on going thrift shopping for them, like maybe going to Once Upon a Child to find some neutrals. That's another thing, is I do plan for the most part to put our baby in all neutrals, no graphics, no wording, no pictures, no bright colors. The only exception is I have bought 2 onesies that are Star Wars onesies that I could not pass up because they were Baby Yoda onesies, and those are brightly colored. And then my father-in-law got us a yellow Don't Tread on Me onesie, so that's the other bright colored. But everything else is going to be like browns and tans and creams and, pretty nice neutral colors, because I want to be able to like pass them down to other kids. And then since we are doing potty training, instead of pants, I want to do like a shirt and leg warmer so that when we're pottying the child, we're not having to unbutton a onesie or zip up a gown or anything, mess with anything like that. Instead of baby socks, which we all know fall off and are completely useless, we plan on getting these little booties that I think they snap together, and maybe some are Velcro, but most of them snap, the ones that I've seen. And if you want to look on our registry to see which ones we have, they have like grippies on the bottom too, and they have a cotton one, and we're going to get 2 fleece ones since our baby's going to be born in November, or around that time. November 3rd is the due date. So that will be the plan as far as like socks. That'll be their socks, is wearing these little booties. They actually will stay on because they snap on. I mean, hopefully, who knows, the baby may still kick it off, but I have read good reviews saying that they stay on. So we're going to be getting them 2 jackets. One is just like a fuzzy under jacket, and then a bigger, like more winter coat one, like a Carhartt one, because we are going to be traveling up north for Christmas when they're itty bitty. So when they're not in the car seat, having those jackets on will be great. And then 1 hat for now. I only plan on getting 1 hat. I already have one, but I plan on getting maybe like 1 more. Transportation needs: a car seat, which we are getting the Even Flow 360 rotational car seat, so you can click it to face like the open door versus facing the back seat while you're putting the baby in, and then you can click it back to face the back seat. That'll just be easier for both me and my husband. If we ever have to take the baby in my husband's truck, my husband can only lift his arms to shoulder height, and if for some reason I'm not there to put the baby in the car seat, it's going to be a lot easier for him to be able to like slide the baby in versus like trying to lift up and above to put in, if that makes sense. So he has frozen shoulder syndrome, so that's like a whole nother thing, but that's why we're getting that car seat. It's brand new, so it's very expensive. The other thing that we're getting is a car mirror / video camera thing. So we're going to attach like this little video camera to the headrest of the seat that the baby is facing, and then there's a little screen that flips up on the dashboard that will show me the baby, and it has night vision, which my hours that I work, I will be driving in the dark a lot, especially in the winter time. So being able to see whether the child is awake or asleep for wake windows, that'll be super helpful. As far as baby gear goes, we're just going to get a carrier. A boba wrap actually is the best cloth wrap that I can find for the cheapest price. Solly Baby isn't bad either, but they're like double the price for the same kind of reviews. A boba wrap is only $40, and the reviews are incredible. So I'm just going to get that cloth one, and that's what we're going to be using until the child is really too old. I think 35 pounds. Past that, they can't really sit in it, and then we can move them up. We have a carrier that was gifted to us that's like a buckle one, but there's also one called Honeyroo that is like a seat that they can sit on, and I think that'll be better for like distributing their weight too once they're older. Alright, so as far as sleep, we're trying to keep it really simple. We have 2 mattress pads, 2 sheets for the bassinet, and then same thing for the actual mattress. We got 2 sheets, and the mattress itself is washable, so I don't think we're doing, like, I might put like a mattress pad on it, but I want it to stay breathable, you know. So I think if you put a mattress pad on it, it doesn't stay breathable, because we have the Newton one, the one with the woven core in the middle where you can press your face into it and still take a deep breath and you can breathe fine. So if the baby rolls over, they can breathe okay. We plan on moving them to that for naps and once they're sleeping through the night, but we'll see. For when they're sleeping in our bed, I have a portable bassinet that is like firm, and it has mesh sides, and it's like a metal frame, so it'll go in between Tyler and I's pillows, and that's where the baby will sleep. It is safe sleep. They're not just going to be like rolling around in the bed. Instead of swaddling, we are going to use a sleep sack that is called Nested Bean. It has a little weighted part right here on their chest to make it feel like a hand, and it is arms out, which I love because everyone talks about how the Moro reflex, which is the startle reflex, is so horrible and it wakes the baby up. I'm like, no, like that reflex is there for a reason. If that baby is sleeping 16 to 18 hours a day when they're itty bitty, they could get blood clots if they stay in one position for a long time. They need to have free movement. They've got to have that. God put that startle reflex into them for a reason. Please, please reconsider and do research on stopping the Moro reflex by swaddling arms in. Please. That's all I'm going to say about it. We are allowing our baby free movement, even if it means they're going to wake themselves up. We'll be okay. I know this was a bit of a longer video. Thanks for sticking around. If you're still here, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out. If you want to hit that little bell so you know which Tuesdays or which Saturdays I'm uploading, that would help you out. If you have not followed me on Instagram, my name is Caring with Carrie over there, just like it is over here. And I post stuff about my nanny kids all the time, or even my personal life, little bump date pictures of baby deer and all of that. So feel free to check out my registry below if you want to see more things that I try to line up with Montessori, zero waste, practical, and minimal. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.